Have you ever wished your AI assistant could do, well, more? I mean, what if it could actually manage a complex research project from start to finish, remembering every single detail, every decision, all along the way? Well, today we're diving deep into the architecture for an AI that can do exactly that. We're talking about an AI with a memory, a plan, and the ability to truly think for itself. You've been there, right? You're deep into a conversation with an AI, and it just completely forgets something you told it 5 minutes ago. It's like talking to someone with a serious case of short-term memory loss. And the reason for this is pretty simple. Most AIs are stateless. That just means they treat every single message you send as a brand new conversation, with zero memory of what came before. So here's a really simple way to think about the difference. A basic chatbot, it's like a calculator. You put in a prompt, you get out a response. End of story. But an advanced agent, that's more like a project manager. It can juggle a whole series of interconnected tasks, and it remembers the context and the goal of the entire project from beginning to end. Okay, so how do we give our AI a brain? We start with a really powerful thinking process called the React decision loop. This is the absolute first step, and it's what allows the AI to go beyond just responding and to actually start thinking about how to solve a problem. You know, the beautiful thing about the React pattern is just how elegant and simple it is. It's a 3-step cycle: reason, act, and observe. This isn't just about generating text anymore. This is about giving the AI the ability to think, to take an action out in the world, and then, critically, to learn from the results of that action. It's a true feedback loop for intelligence. So here's how it actually works. First, the agent reasons. It looks at the situation, it looks at the goal, and it decides, okay, what's the next best move? Then it acts. It might go search the web or pull data from a database or use some other tool it has. And finally, it observes what happened. It takes that result, and that observation informs its very next reasoning step. It's this constant adaptive cycle of learning. All right, so our agent has a brain. It can think moment to moment. But what happens when the project is huge and complex, with dozens of steps and maybe some dead ends? That thinking process can get lost on its own. And that's where our next piece comes in: LangGraph. You should think of it as the master planner, the project manager for our AI, making sure it stays on track and never loses sight of the big picture. LangGraph is the direct answer to that amnesia problem we talked about. It provides something called managed state persistence, which is really just a fancy way of saying it gives the agent a reliable, persistent working memory. With LangGraph in place, our agent can keep track of everything it's done, everything it's learned, and what it still needs to do to finish the job. So, how does it work? LangGraph basically creates a state graph. You can think of it like a dynamic roadmap for the AI's entire project. Each step, each tool call is a destination on the map, and LangGraph is the expert navigator, guiding the AI from one point to the next, making sure it never gets lost, even when it has to make really complex, branching decisions. It's like the conductor of our AI orchestra, making sure every part plays in perfect harmony. So, our agent has a brain and a plan. Now it's time to give it some superpowers. We need a universal toolkit so it can interact with the world, and a perfect, interconnected, long-term memory. And this is where things get really, really cool. First up, we have the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. The absolute best way to think about this is as a universal adapter for AI tools. Instead of having to build custom, one-off connections for every single API or every database, MCP gives you one standard secure gateway for the agent to talk to, well, anything and everything. Now, in a business setting, this is a total game changer because you're using one standard way to access tools. You can centralize all your security. We're talking virtual networks, data loss prevention. It's all in one place. This makes it so much safer to let your AI work with sensitive data, and it gives you the flexibility to just plug and play new tools whenever you need them. But hold on. There's a big difference between remembering the steps of a task, which is what LangGraph is for, and remembering facts about the world. For our agent to be truly intelligent, it needs a long-term factual memory, one that doesn't just know isolated facts, but understands how all those facts are connected to each other. And this is where we see a huge leap forward. Traditional RAG, that's retrieval augmented generation, it's kind of like a librarian who can find you a bunch of books that contain similar words. It's useful, but it doesn't really understand the story inside the books. Now, GraphRAG, powered by a Neo4j Knowledge Graph, That's like a librarian who has read every single book and understands how all the characters, places, and events are interconnected across the entire library. It can follow those relationships to give you incredibly deep, contextual answers. All right, we've got all the pieces on the board. We've got a brain, a planner, a universal toolkit, and a deep, factual memory. So now, let's put them all together and see what our advanced AI research assistant really looks like. Here's how it all fits together: the unified architecture. The React pattern is that moment-to-moment thinking engine. LangGraph is the conductor, orchestrating the whole workflow. MCP is the universal translator, letting our agent talk to any tool. And the Neo4j Knowledge Graph? That's the AI's permanent library, its deep well of factual knowledge. Each piece has a vital, distinct role. So when you combine all of these incredible components, what do you get? You get something truly special. You get an AI that you can actually trust. And I'm not just talking about getting the right answers. It's about having a partner that's reliable, consistent, and completely transparent in how it thinks. And the payoffs of building this way are just huge, because every step the AI takes is recorded and structured. You can literally see how it's thinking. Its reasoning is totally transparent and explainable. You can build safety guardrails right into the workflow to make sure it always acts responsibly. And since the whole system is modular, you can easily upgrade it as new tech comes along. The result is an AI that's not just smarter, but safer and built for the future. To put it in the words of one of the architects behind this, we're not just building a better chatbot here. This architecture transforms the agent from a simple language generator into a reliable, autonomous executor. That's an AI that can confidently take on the most challenging, high-stakes tasks you can throw at it. And all of this brings us to one final, really big question. Once we have agents that can truly reason, remember, and act with a level of reliability we can actually trust, the barrier is no longer the technology. It's our own imagination. So what are the profound, complex problems that we will ask them to solve next?